How's it going everyone, it's me, Vivi, and we're back to some Kingdom Hearts 3. Tetsuya Nomura shared a bunch of cool information from Dengeki PlayStation's recent interview, and Ultimania, which recently released in Japan. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this book will ever get released globally, cause it's interesting. How I wish it would come to other regions. But anyways, first things first. KH3 has shipped 5 million units worldwide, physically and digitally, surpassing all previous launch sales of, the other entries. Top-selling game in Japan, both physically and digitally combined. Over 742,000 copies in Japan only. And this is only the first week, folks. January. It was the most downloaded game on the PS Store in the US in January as well. I mean, should I even continue? I'm not even surprised. We get it. It's Kingdom Hearts 3. It sold immensely. As for Xbox, well, it was part of a top 10. Came in second place, which is excellent. And we're only talking about one Kingdom Hearts game on Xbox One. And it sold. Came in second place. That tells me that a lot of newcomers on the Xbox got to experience Kingdom Hearts for the very first time. Should I even assume how it went for them? Not gameplay-wise, but in terms of story, let's just not. With that said, let's move on to the interesting info and answers to some questions Nomura had to share this past week. The translations you're about to see, all credit goes to the names you see on screen. You guys are beautiful. Fantastic work, thank you. Now guys, these aren't official translations, but they still give us a very cool idea. Now of course there was a case of mistranslation somewhere, because if you come across translations such as, oh, Demyx's disappearance has an importance, or that girl X from the reports is not Ava, those are not confirmed. So if you come across those, don't take it as confirmation. If I ever brought up in the comments that Demyx, the fact that he disappeared, is important, my bad, it's false. Note, before I proceed, as of today, every piece of information, interview, and story scenarios by Nomura from the Ultimania has been translated in full. So in this video, you're going to see some parts where I'm going to be using two quotes, going over the same question or piece of information. If you feel like there's too much text on screen, the best thing would be to pause the video, which might come off as way too obvious, but just a heads up, okay? Also, with the Ultimania fully translated, Nomura's part, some tidbits of information might come off as new, and that'll probably give you a bit more ideas after watching the video. Anyways, let's go. First thing I take it you guys want to hear from this whole information from Ultimania and Dengeki. DLC. What's up with that? And will there be critical mode? A difficulty mode which was absent and I'd say was one of the major problems of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now it can get fixed and here's why. Critical mode has been confirmed. Yay! There'll be two types of DLC by the way. One being free via updates, and the others paid, all in one batch, coming sometime this year. Here's what Nomura specifically stated regarding this topic. This game does not contain the critical mode difficulty level. Could you explain why this wasn't included in this release? Critical mode was never part of the base game. It was always added to the final mix version as bonus content. So this time we decided to add it as DLC, because it's not simple as just editing the parameters. We are currently testing it out and adjusting the difficulty. We want this to not only be challenging, but also enjoyable. For you Kingdom Hearts 2 longtime veterans, it seems critical mode will perhaps feel like KH2's. Am I wrong to say that? It's gonna be fun, and not just outright hard. And the thing is, people were expecting critical mode because it's been a thing, after basically Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance. Now please enlighten us on the topic of if there are plans for updates and DLC. Is there a possibility of a final mix release, or a next game in the Kingdom Hearts series? Until now, we would release a final mix version, but this time we would like to add all additional content with DLC. I think we will start with free DLC in the form of updates from whatever finishes production first, and then release a paid DLC that will come as one package. Because of that, the paid DLC will take some time, but we are planning to release it by the end of the year, so that the developers are able to start work on the next project as soon as possible. By the end of 2019, you heard it folks, critical mode and a batch of paid downloads should release. Nomura did say in the past that he wasn't fond of the whole season pass business model, and he did say he would potentially look for DLC post-launch, so there you go folks. He did also say he expects another game before Kingdom Hearts 4. I gotta say I'm not even surprised. Now about the part of Xian and how she returned, that's one big question people had about the game. They didn't understand how the heck Xian came back. Nomura plans to explain that in DLC. He honestly believed that fans would interpret it themselves. I tried interpreting it in the questions video. To be quite honest with you, at first glance I didn't get it either. But then upon further thinking, I was like, okay, what I might explain might make sense. Scala at Kylum and Daybreak Town are indeed connected, and there should be hints underwater. Nomura said that one of the sheet artists came up to him and told him, hey, do you want Daybreak Town's clock tower to be upright or upside down? He went with the upside down version. As for the wild card, it could play a role in Sora's return. Hint hint, the Reaper's game. Something I heavily discussed in the previous video, discussing the secret ending. Nomura said, about the lingering will, that he did in fact disappear after Terra returned. But people wondered, why did he disappear? Where did he go? He says if conditions are right, his armor should return. Does he mean his empty armor returning to Terra, or his mind returning to Terra? Did he lose his armor simply? Is that what he was referring to? I mean, that's my understanding. I mean, Terra's back, he has his mind, so I don't imagine his mind still being within that armor. I take Nomura as simply referring to the armor. He probably lost it and might reclaim it if conditions are right, whatever these conditions are. Naminé, how did she return? You might ask. When Xehanort struck Kairi with his Keyblade, that's how Naminé came to be. Well, her heart got out, and they used it and put it inside a replica. This scene right here afterwards, after the ending. How I understood it before reading what Nomura said, I thought Naminé returned when Sora saved Kairi, abusing the power of waking. And when Naminé was brought to Destiny Islands by Riku, I thought that scene took place after a time skip. Like after a while, Kairi came back and that allowed Naminé to return to Kairi, and they found a way to extract Naminé's heart and put it within the replica. That's how I saw it, before reading Nomura's statement. Now about the secret ending, The secret movie isn't as simple as people think it is. There hasn't been enough information revealed to players yet. Okay, we promised Neku and KHDDD that we will return to Shibuya, but this time isn't directly connected to it. This Shibuya is in a different reality compared to the real one. Aha! So basically, Nomura just confirmed that Sora is indeed in Shibuya, but in a different version of it. This is a scenario I brought up in the previous video, talking about the secret ending, how Sora would visit an alternate Shibuya. That could mean that Sora will possibly meet Neku and partner up with him. Yeah, he did meet Neku in Dream Drop Distance, and that was their Reaper game in Traverse Town, but this is an alternate Shibuya. Something which was also brought up within the actual The World Ends With You game, if you've played it. So alternate Shibuyas, or world lines, call it the new word in Kingdom Hearts. It's a thing now. And don't forget, the Reaper's game, which to me seems to be the case, requires a partner, or pact. Will it be Neku? Will it be Shiki? Who knows? I have a feeling it'll be Neku. Mysterious rope guy, okay. Really guys, you shouldn't be surprised by this information. Nomura confirmed this guy to be the Master of Masters. End of story. I'm not even surprised to the slightest. It was way too obvious. The way he shaped his fingers into your heart, all that mannerism, come on. Please note guys, although I'm going over a good number of things from the interviews, I will not be discussing every single thing that came out of the Ultimania and Dengeki. You see all this beautiful wall of text and questions, translated from fans? Well, the link is in the description. Go read it. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm simply choosing a few I found the most interesting. Okay, with that out of the way, this one big question many brought up under my questions video. Looking back at it, I should have gone over this question. I personally believed that this question, many would have understood it when playing the game. I guess it's not the case, oopsie. The whole Terranort situation. Did Terra return as an individual, or did Terranort return? What I mean by this is, when Ansem and Xemnas got defeated in KH1, KH2, did we get Terranort recompleted? Or did Master Xehanort and Terra return separately? It's the latter. That's how I understood it, actually, from the get-go, that Terra came back separately, but was being used as a vessel for Xehanort again. Now as for Nomura's explanation, here it is. I want to ask about Terranort. When Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and Xemnas were defeated in KH1 and 2, were both Master Xehanort and Terra revived? Ordinarily, Terra should have been revived at that point, but because his body was possessed by Xehanort, his heart didn't return, and only his body did. That body was used as the vessel for the heart of Terra from Birth by Sleep, that was called from the past. Part 2 of this question, how long was Terra's heart inside the Guardian? This was one heck of a reveal. Now, people probably thought of this in the past like, oh okay, the Guardian is Terra, but still. Inside Terranort, both the hearts of Terra and Xehanort were constantly clashing. During this time, the heart of Terra continually traveled back and forth between the Guardian and his body, continually possessed over and over. By the way, the Guardian's real name is the person behind you. Okay, so he confirms that Terra's body did return along with Xehanort's separately. Okay, but not his heart, is where I got confused. Surely his present heart went somewhere, and I believe it went to the Guardian again. Originally, Terra's heart would clash constantly, right? And move from one entity to the other. Surely his present heart must have returned. Unless, you know, with the whole final world thing, it wound up there, but looking at the cutscenes, I don't know. I don't think so. If Terra's heart from the present wound up in the final world, then surely Sora would have encountered it and saved Terra as well from the final world. But it just doesn't seem to be the case. As for Terra coming back, let's say, via the heart from the past, it doesn't make sense to me due to the nature of paradoxes. Bear with me here, okay? Present day Terra's body was used as a vessel. Okie dokie. Terranort's heart from the past was put in Terra. I'm guessing that's what he was implying. Terranort's heart, right? Terranort's heart was brought from the past like others. Xemnas, young Xehanort, I'm missing someone. Ansem, there we go. As for the Guardian from Ansem, where was he? Why wasn't he being used? I guess he let Terranort do the honors this time? I mean, I guess. Maybe, just maybe it has to do with the fact that, you know, Xemnas and Ansem, their actual selves cannot coexist with Xehanort. The same applies for young Xehanort. This was explained by Vexen and the Sugat reports. Perhaps the same applies for the Guardian from Ansem and the Guardian from Terranort. But I could be wrong here. Maybe this type of stuff could get explained in potential DLC. But the point is, well, I mean, let's just get back to the point. Terra's present day heart most likely remained trapped again within the Guardian. That's just how I take it now. Going with the whole destined to happen when it comes to time travel in Kingdom Hearts, laws of time only allowed Terra's present heart to come back. As for his past heart, it simply went back to its original timeline, similar to young Xehanort, Ansem, and Xemnas. Surely that's what happened. If Terra's heart from the past was used to revive Terra, there'd be a paradox. Master of Masters in back cover even brought up the word paradox. Plus the fact Sora rescued everyone. Light prevailed when he did save everyone. Changes did happen. I might be wrong here, of course. But hey, this is just how I like to expand upon Nomura's own explanation. Next bit of interesting info. Xemnas was looking for Ventus because he was an ancient Keyblade wielder. So with that type of information, I guess we can all agree that Xehanort knew from a while back that Ventus was such a wielder. Or at least found out eventually. I mean really, why did he want to use Ventus as a vessel initially? I mean, think about that one. Here's what was said by Nomura. Wait, so does that mean Xehanort knew that Ventus was an ancient Keyblade wielder? Nomura replied, guess that just means I have to show their meeting. I'm guessing we're gonna have to wait for a DLC maybe? Marluxia, saying he finally remembers. Yes, he does. He remembers himself from Union Cross. I thought he remembered what a heart felt like. I didn't take it as him remembering his past life from Union Cross. But look, yeah, he's remembering alright. Nomura said if you're paying close attention to Union Cross, you should understand. In the Japanese version for Larxine's part, she brings up he, as opposed to what she said in the English version, I was really just along for the ride. Yup, the Japanese version hints at Marluxia better, and Nomura confirmed she was following Marluxia. But does this mean she also remembers her past life in Union Cross? It hasn't been specified. And yes, she is part of Union Cross, known as Elrena, if you've watched the cutscenes from the Japanese version. About Maleficent, you guys might be wondering, how did she know about the black box? This is something I also wondered and told myself, okay, we got a story update at one point where Maleficent time traveled to a data version of Enchanted Dominion. I thought behind the scenes, this darkness person told Maleficent about the box, along with the Book of Prophecies. Why does Maleficent know about the black box? After the events of KH1, Maleficent ended up in Kingdom's Union Cross. She then returned to the present day in KH2. The fact she can travel between the current time future is related to why the ancient Keyblade wielders are in the current day. Aha! Solorium, aka Marluxia, Ventus, and perhaps Scald, being Subject X, they all wound up in the Birth by Sleep timeline. Similar to how Maleficent wound up in KH2. I take it this is going to get explained eventually. Interesting. Nomura is basically implying that the box was brought up by the darkness, the person called Darkness, behind the scenes. And I believe Lucio is Darkness. He did say in the reports, this Lady of Magic, something along those lines. He was referring to Maleficent, and Nomura did confirm that that Lady of Magic was Maleficent. About this part, the whole time reverse thing, yes, Nomura confirmed it. Sora did time travel. I mean, time reversed in a way. And how I like to expand on this info, they all lost their bodies. They were left as hearts. That would allow them to time travel. Those hearts went to their past versions of themselves, and merged with those past bodies. Some have been saying that this scene, where everyone dies, you know, where it repeats twice? Well, it doesn't really seem to be the case because people have been telling me in the comments, if you collect all Soras in the final world, this scene will not repeat twice. I find it weird. Some have been also saying, well dude, it's just a flashback scene. Honestly, that's what I thought at first. But why give a flashback scene so soon? What I tried understanding with this scene repeating itself is that Sora tried saving them twice, but unfortunately failed, and did it again and again, abusing the power of waking. So guys, can you again confirm in the comments that this scene does not repeat if you collect all Soras? Last thing for the video. Something that got blown way out of proportion. Nomura talks about the opening. Keyword red flashes everywhere opening. The line Sora says in the opening takes place after the ending, and is a reflection of what Sora feels after Cage Drake. The interviewer asked if what Sora says at the beginning of the game, they can take your world, is supposed to be said after the end of KH3. Nomura says not only that, but it's supposed to show Sora's mental state and offer us a hint. I saw a bunch of people interchanging the term opening with intro or tutorial, specifically for the dive into the heart sequence at the beginning. People thought that Nomura was specifically referring to the tutorial. Like, oh, the tutorial took place after the ending. Now that one I don't believe. But if you were to say the tutorial took place when everyone died, hey, it doesn't sound crazy. Looking at it again, and Sora rescuing everyone, the final world in the tutorial starts to make more sense. The tutorial shows the final world, which by the way seemed completely out of place. And the fact the segment ends with just a text bubble, so abrupt, if I say so myself. Also, don't forget, we get the words, there are 7 hearts to save. That can hint at this taking place before Sora loses his body into pieces, which he retrieves later after meeting Charity. And as for Charity, saying Sora's been here before, I don't think it really confirms the tutorial, really. Like, oh, you've been here before like a couple of seconds ago. Charity, I believe, is simply referring to the past. Dive into the hearts. KH2, KH1, you know, all past titles, which seem to be connected to the final world. It just so happens that previous titles just didn't have the final world yet. So guys, regardless of the situation, Nomura is referring to the lines from the opening, his state of mind after the ending, after beating Xehanort and rescuing Kairi, I take it. Oh, by the way, this one I'm really surprised. The building from the cover art, according to Nomura, those aren't just structures which are part of the building. Those are supposed to be people wearing black robes. Now in the past I do recall people saying, hey, those look like people to me. But to me they just look like structures, but no. From the Ultimania you can read a bunch of bonuses, which have to do with the development of Kingdom Hearts 3. As for Nomura's bonus part, here's what he had to say. Bonus, a secret about the game only you know. On the cover art next to Ventus, there's a cat that was partially modeled after Charity, but it's actually my own cat. Also, on the 4 corners of the top of the clock tower, the protruding objects, there are actually people wearing black robes. What? If we count, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That number is close to the new 7 dark pieces we saw at the end of the epilogue. I could be wrong though, but to me, with this type of information, the cover art of Kingdom Hearts 3 is basically hinting at the next Kingdom Hearts, whatever it's gonna be about. Something I didn't bring up in the video, Nomura did say that initially he had the idea to dive deeper within Xehanort's past, but by doing so, he had the feeling the game, well, the Darkseeker saga would have never ended. So who knows what's in store for the future. So guys, as I said before, there's a bunch of cool translations over on KH13. Go check it out. I didn't go over everything. There's still a bunch of goodies on KH13. Go check it out. And as always, if you have any questions, if you disagree or agree on certain parts, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.